I have beaten Minecraft using only the spear and the mace to do damage, and the most requested weapon from those videos to do next was the Trident, and so I am here to make that happen. This is Minecraft with only the Trident to deal damage. As I spawned into the new world, it started like any other, of course by mining wood from trees, and then I started looking around for a village to be able to get food. And upon locating the village, I made a hoe and then started mining all the hay bales I could find, as killing animals was not going to be an option until I had a trident. Once I had some basic tools, I started mentally preparing myself for mining a ton of trees, as I thought I was going to need a trial map to be able to locate the trial chamber, which would require a leveled up cartographer, but because I don't hate myself, I decided to mine down to be able to get iron for an iron axe rather than going through thousands of stone axe. Fortunately, I dug directly into a cave, meaning I could start mining iron immediately. Of course, it didn't come without its risks. Given that I didn't have a weapon I was allowed to use, it was going to contain a lot of running from mobs. But once I had a good amount of iron, I made a furnace and then started smelting it down. And once it was smelted, I made a pickaxe, a bucket, and then some basic armor to keep myself safe. As I got back to exploring, something would happen that would change what I had to do greatly. There is no way. Okay, yeah, that's actually so cool. Thank you. Having found the trial chamber, I started preparing everything I would need for it. We just need 3 diamonds and everything is in order. You know, I was dreading having to go get another trial map because my luck is terrible. And instead, it's just handed to me on a golden platter. Not that I was complaining, of course. I was actually quite happy. I think there's a lava pool near the village, so like we can surface, go back to where my spawn point's at. We're gonna have a great time. Trying to find diamonds in that cave didn't show any results, so I decided to go inside the trial chamber and break vases to try and get diamonds that way instead. And although I tried to be careful to not activate any spawners, it didn't exactly work. On the bright side, I did end up getting some of the diamonds. The bog did try to kill me, but I fortunately got away with half a heart. Oh my god. Alright, yeah, here on the Cheddar Sword channel, we make problems that nobody should have. To try and prevent these problems, I stopped to make a chestplate alongside a shield so that I could continue exploring safely. As I broke more vases, I ended up getting a key and tried my luck for a trident, hoping that I'd be able to get it first try. Trident! Oh, that's not a trident, and that's not gonna get us far. I went breeze, whatever the heck. Wishful thinking, am I right? Now, having tried a key, I decided it would be best to leave because I still need to get a diamond pickaxe so that I could set up what I would actually need to be able to get the trident. And thankfully, as I staircased my way to the surface, I ended up coming across the diamonds I would need to finish making a diamond pickaxe. With my newly made pickaxe, I started digging directly up as I need to go to the surface and find that lava pool. When I made it to the surface, it was nighttime, so I ran straight over to the lava pool, poured water on it, converting it almost entirely into obsidian, and then ran back to the village to sleep the night away. When I returned to where I left all the obsidian, I started mining all of it until I had 30 in my inventory. And it really is times like these that make you miss enchants, because man, did 5 minutes of mining obsidian feel like 10. Anyways, with all the obsidian I would need, I started gathering up building blocks so that I could head back down to the trial chamber to set up an AFK key farm. Before heading down, I also made the hoppers I would need for collecting the keys. When I got back down into the trial chamber, the first thing I would have to do is get rid of all the bogged that I had spawned in earlier, and so I went down a stairwell and built a nether portal and started luring them through. And once all of the bogged were lured through the portal, it would also mark the spawner they came from as clear, which is where I would be building the farm at anyways, so it worked out. Once all the bogged were in the nether, I started picking up all the obsidian from the portal and then went over to the spawner that they were coming from. Once I made it to the spawner, I started setting up the farm from memory, but I realized one of the spawners wasn't cleared, so I had to find the last bogged and make him go away for a while. It's gonna be really embarrassing if I die to just a singular bogged. Never mind, not even close. With all the bog truly out of the picture, I went back to the farm to finish making it. When I got back, I started filling in the area that the mobs could spawn in. I then built the nether portal that they would be sent through, and then I placed down the water as well. And with that, the farm was done. Okay, so if I did this correctly, I believe that the chamber will come off cooldown, and then it will spawn the mobs, because I believe nether portal frames are marked as transparent. The strays will come in, they will flow into the nether portal because they don't have an option. The trials will be marked clear, there are hoppers under both of the spawners so that it'll collect all of the keys, is of course what we need. And then I'm gonna dig this out here, and any strays that come back through, I'm just gonna lock them in a pit. Using some of the copper nearby to make a bunch of trapdoors for them to walk on and then fall into the pit, I then grabbed lava from nearby so that any bog that came back through the portal would fall into it and die. And so I'm gonna go to bed, but trial keys are gonna be collected from both of those overnight, I hope. However, before I went to bed, I went to the surface, grabbed some sand alongside some iron, I smelted both of them, and then I fixed the collection system by adding minecarts and then placed glass so that I wouldn't wake up dead. There we go. And when I woke up from my 9-hour nap, I went down to the collection system and got 18 keys total. Now, bear witness to a montage of gambling, death, and disappointment. Unfortunately, the first few keys were not going to be the lucky one to give me the trident that I oh so desperately desired. I'm getting all of the rare table drops except the one I need. Bro, why is everything so scared? I got killed by a slime! What? Did I not set my spawn? One long walk of shame later back to the chamber, I got my stuff back and then I went back to gambling. Oh, yes! Let's go! With the trident finally in my hand, I wasted no time going back to the surface because I had many things I still wanted to do. The first of which was of course enchanted, and so I started gathering leather from horses and cows. Mainly horses. I hate them, I'm assuming! Oh, I didn't have that. Dude, there's no more horses in the fucking area. Oh, there's no cows, there's no horses! Oh, shit, that guy's got a spear! Wait, oh no, no. Yo, no. Oh my god! Another embarrassing walk of shame later, I got my stuff back and vowed to never fight a zombie horse without a spear. Since I had been using the trident a ton without enchants on it, I needed to go get a mending book. And so I made a stop to go get one of those, and then got the sticks necessary to trade for the emeralds to be able to make the trade. I also need to get to level 30 for the best enchants, and so even though I got to dodge mining trees in the early game, I still had to make a stop to do it now. Alongside trading with Fletchers, I maxed out a farmer to get golden carrots as well. And of course, since I wanted to do some enchanting, I traded with a librarian to get the bookshelves needed to get a level 15 table as well. To finish getting to level 30, I headed down below because I needed diamonds for diamond armor and I need a lot of iron for an anvil. As I went deeper down, I found myself in a big cave where tons of diamonds were exposed, and so I started mining everything up. As I mined everything that I needed, I also hit level 30 from mining lapis. Alright, level 30. All we need is a few more diamonds and we have everything done. Once I had all the diamonds necessary, I mined up all the iron I would need as well before returning to the surface so that I could set up the enchantment table. And once I had the enchantment table fully set up, I was able to enchant my trident with loyalty 3, meaning I could safely use its ranged attack as well. Ooh, that's just what I wanted. Now that the trident was enchanted, I also put the diamonds I had gathered to use, making a full set of diamond gear, and enchanting it as well with some basic stuff. In the midst of this, my iron was smelting, and by the time I had put my full gear set on, it was ready to go, and so I made the anvil before putting mending on my trident, meaning I would no longer be at risk of breaking it. We have the trident, it's got mending, it's got loyalty, but we're not done yet, because it wouldn't be a trident adventure if I didn't also get riptide. So should be easy, I hope. And so I began my search for an ocean, but along the way I mined up obsidian again because we were going to need more later. Eventually night would fall while I was boating around, and so I started looking for drowned to kill that were holding tridents. There's a baby drowned. And it's got a trident. I'm killing the baby. I'm robbing the baby. Drop the trident. Ow. Mine. While the baby wasn't the one, you know what they say about the third try. Oh, there we go. I went 3,000 blocks to get a second trident. I gotta go all the way back to the village. Along the way back, I got bored. And snipe. Oh no. Anyways, once I made it back to the village, I reset the table until Riptide popped up for the trident, and even though I needed level 30, it wouldn't be too hard to get back to that point. As I went back to the forest nearby to cut down even more trees, I went until my axe nearly broke, but I did make it to level 30 trading for crossbows. There we go. The levels acquired, I went back to my table and of course put Riptide on the trident, meaning I now had everything I could want for the adventure that lied ahead. And as I got ready to head out, I picked up all my junk by accident. Oh no, I don't want all these. Going back to the mending villager, I grabbed another copy of the book and then put it on my new trident, before giving them names that only in post did I realize I named them backwards. So there's that, I guess. This is Weaver. With everything I could possibly need done, I built my nether portal immediately and went straight on into the nether. Unfortunately, like always, I would spawn in a basalt delta, because, of course. Why is it always this? Oh my god, wait, is that all the bogged I sent through? That's so stupid. Where's the portal? Like, I didn't even think about them being here. Bog distraction aside, the nether adventure began. As I began searching for a bastion or a fortress, I would come across a bastion first. And so I carefully built upwards alongside the wall, where I'd be able to pick out the gold from the side so that I'd have some piglin trade fodder. Once I was ready to go into the bastion, I realized I could use the loyalty trident to pick off the piglin brutes from above, and so I took full advantage of that. Thank you. That's all I wanted. I carefully mined into the bastion, doing my best to avoid any piglin brutes, cause they still hurt. I didn't do a good job at it, but I did well enough to where I would be able to pick off the ones down below before heading down there to start collecting all the gold. Since I kinda used the trident to pick off all of the piglins in the bastion, I would just be picking up the gold and then leaving, since there wasn't really anybody to trade with. So once I had all the gold from down below, I left the bastion, not bothering to check any of the chests, cause there wouldn't be anything I would need. Besides maybe more gold, but I doubted that I would need it. Alright, well, bastion done. We can go trade with piggies on the way. Whilst I was looking for a fortress, I took the time to mine nether quartz to heal up both of my tridents since they were still a bit damaged. I would then go on to regret not checking the bastion chest, as I would go 18 blocks of gold for 7 ender pearls. A speedrunner's nightmare. Thankfully, I found a warped forest before I found the nether fortress, and so I started taking out endermen to get the last pearls that I would need. Alongside that, the fortress was actually inside the warped forest as well, so I'd be able to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone as I took out endermen until I got to 16 ender pearls. Once I had those, I tried scaling up the fortress wall, but some blazes had other plans for me. Okay. I then tried it again, and the same blazes had the same plan. Whew. Why are you guys down here? You're meant to be up there. I mean, I'm not complaining. Take that. Guys! I want to come on to the stronghold, or the fortress. And I don't want to fight you now. Yeah, I see you. Quit firing. Like, don't make me come over there. Yeah, I can throw fire, but I can throw projectiles too. Oh, you're dead now. Yeah, that's what you get. I am entering the fortress. For real now. Also, so you mean to tell me that there was just like 4 strays that spawned and were shooting me from over there? Whatever, bro. That's stupid. And with a little bit of exploring, I would come across the blaze spawner to where I would teach them a lesson for the actions of their peers. I would repeat this process for a little while, but while waiting for the blazes to spawn, I tried to clear the area, and then I started hearing something strange. For some reason, somewhere nearby, a bunch of pigs were getting tortured, and it wasn't by me. Like, where are they? Where are these pigs dying? Because I'm hearing it, I'm not seeing it. Once I tuned out the dying pigs, I made it to 8 blaze rods before starting to build my exit portal, as it was time to start hunting for the stronghold. As I made my way through the portal, I was just really hoping that it wouldn't put me in a cave, and even though it did, I still had stuff that I had to take care of, and so first I had to mine up my nether portal because I still needed the obsidian and didn't feel like getting more later. Once I had gotten 10 obsidian back, I made my way to the surface where I would discover that it was raining. Okay, we're on the surface and it's raining, so we get to have a great time going to the stronghold. Using the riptide trident, I took to the sky and started going hundreds of blocks per throw, while following the Eye of Ender to guide me to the stronghold. I went so far that the first time I landed it had turned, and so I stopped to make a bunch of buckets for a plan I had in the end, before going down to where the stronghold should be. Alright, it's right. Hey, this ain't the This ain't the stronghold, actually. But that is... Whoa. Why do I always get, like, the coolest world gem? Oh, hey, and there's the portal. God, that's cool. Okay, anyways, we're going to the end. I'm not even gonna, like, dilly-dally. I'm ready. Okay, so... Now, of course, the question on at least maybe 1 or 2 people's minds is, oh, well, what's all the water for? You've heard of free the end. Today, we're gonna flood the end. And this might be really pointless, but I really just want to riptide around. And when I got tired of flooding the area down below, I started taking out the crystals using the water buckets and riptide to snipe them from up above, which felt really satisfying to do. And then when all of the crystals were out of the way, I went back down below, and then I decided, honestly, while we wait for her to perch, I'm just gonna go back to flooding the end. And whilst I was placing buckets, I waited patiently for the dragon to perch so I could go in using riptide and the other trident as well. And eventually she would perch, meaning I could dish out some major damage. Though after this perch, I decided I didn't really want to take advantage of them since I wanted to be able to throw the trident and riptide into it rather than doing what I could normally do. Now, what I didn't know is that that was also going to be the only time the dragon would perch, as something was about to happen that would ruin the entire fight for me. For some strange reason, and I assume it's the water, the dragon got stuck at this pillar. What is she doing? Hello? Seeing that the dragon was effectively stuck crushed my spirit. Something I thought would be cool and unique turned into nothing. Oh, this fight's so lame. What are you doing? Get up! Get out! And so, something that I was so excited to do, having cool tricks planned in mind, turned into throwing the trident at it on loop in the most uninteresting way possible. I was really looking forward to like riptiding around and, you know, hitting the dragon with the trident. Like, what is this, man? Alright, I gotta make the most of this situation. I'm going to at least make the final hit be a riptide hit. Yeah, you know, dragon, you really put up a fight, but I'm just gonna... Yeah, you're dead now. And as I picked up the experience from the dragon to heal my tridents, I wasn't happy. And that led me to make a decision that would change the run. No, you know what? No. That's not it. I'm not done yet. If the Ender Dragon won't put up a good fight, the Wither will. So the Ender Dragon is no longer the final boss of this run. It is now the Wither. Since somebody's got to make something cool happen. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go get an elytra. I'm getting my cool fight. With a new goal in mind, I headed out to the outer end and immediately started searching for an end city because I was gonna need an elytra for my new plan. And while post-recording me is looking for the elytra, I'm gonna take a second to ask you to subscribe because if you made it this far, you're probably enjoying it and I want to know if you like the twist, so let me know down below. Anyways, let's get back to him. I think he's about to get the elytra. Once I boarded the ship and got the elytra, I didn't waste any time before using the water and riptide to fly away, trying to find a different gateway to go back. Instead, I ended up finding another end ship, so I had 2 elytras just in case. And from there, once I had the second elytra, it didn't take too long for me to be able to find a gateway home, so that I could start preparing for what I had to do next. Okay, I mean, honestly, I don't think I should stall. We're going to go fight the Wither, so I need Wither skulls. So we're gonna go get those. After returning to the Nether, I located a different Nether fortress than the one I had been at before, and boarded it immediately. And once I was on the fortress, I set up another Nether portal so that I could lure Wither skeletons through it, sending them to the overworld. And once I had the portal set up to where they wouldn't have any option but to go through the portal if they wanted to get me, I started exploring the fortress so that I could lure them through it. Let's see where we sent them. Hopefully the surface. Of course not. Unfortunately, the portal did not connect to the surface, and honestly, waiting for a thunderstorm was too RNG, so I had to do the old-fashioned way of getting the skulls. Okay. After about 30 minutes of hunting down and killing Wither skeletons, I got all of the Wither skulls that I needed, so I returned to the overworld. Once I returned to the overworld, there was still a good bit of prep work to do. I found myself in an ocean, which made it pretty easy to get back to the village, as I needed mending books for both of my elytra so that they wouldn't break mid-fight. And so once I made it back to the village, I repaired my axe so that I could once again have so much fun mining down tons of trees for 60 emeralds. Not that I was complaining about the time spent, as before I could fight the Wither, I still needed the weather to be raining, and I needed to kill time. Once I had mending on both of my elytras, I went back to the Nether to pick up the soul sand I would need to summon the Wither, alongside mining nether quartz to repair both of the elytras. And since I didn't have unbreaking on them, I just made sure to repair them all the way, and then grab the sand before leaving once again through the portal at the fortress. Once again back in the overworld, I went all the way back up to the surface, and this time it was night, and so I spent some time gathering the resources necessary to have fireworks as a last-ditch emergency. Once I had a good amount of fireworks, it was just about killing time, and whilst I was waiting, I ended up breaking my boots on a spider, so I had to fly back to make a new pair of those before I could do the fight as well. It also helped that this new pair of boots came with feather falling 4 and blast protection, which was going to be huge. From there, I returned to where I'd came from and just started waiting for the rain to come. It's raining! Very final thing I did in preparation for the fight was locate some cows, get tons of milk, make more buckets, get more milk, and then I got ready for the fight. From the few times I had tested what I was about to do, I knew this was going to be harder than the Ender Dragon by far, but nonetheless, I had to go forward. I think it's time that we do it. Whilst the Wither charged up its initial explosion to begin the fight, I arranged my hotbar, filled my saturation bar, and then got ready for the end of the Trident run. From the minute it spawned, every single Trident throw mattered, as keeping its health recovery in check was going to be key to making sure I didn't lose. And if I missed my shot, I'd have to riptide into it instead, risking getting withered, but it was all I could do to make sure that the Wither didn't heal more than I could deal. This first phase was really about having a good rhythm between aiming, hitting, and running, and as long as I did that, I'd be able to get out unscathed. But if I threw the Trident at the wrong time and it hit a skull, it would send my Trident flying, meaning I would only have riptide as an option. Every mistake would add up, as the time it took for me to drink milk was time that it could get health back and it could damage me more, potentially killing me. But eventually, with some good dodging and weaving, I was able to whittle the Wither's health down until it was almost in its second phase, where I prepared to do only riptide. Alright, now we can switch to 4. Now that I was bringing the fight to the air, the combined power of the elytra and riptide were about to be put on full display. Once I got rid of the Wither effect from down below, I used riptide to soar, constantly dashing through the Wither with a high enough speed to be able to stay out of range of most attacks. As long as I didn't get stuck on its hitbox, things were going to go perfectly. And even if I did get stuck on its hitbox, I would be able to riptide and fly away, drink milk, and then come right back into the fight, losing very little time. Wait, why'd the sky turn dark? Is it thunderstorming? You know, that's the reason I didn't get channeling, was because it wouldn't thunderstorm. So of course it would happen now, huh? I might have been down to my last bucket of milk, but the Wither wasn't looking too good either, and so I continued the fight recklessly, dashing into it as fast as possible, dealing as much damage as quickly as I could. Because if the rain ran out, it was game. However, things just seemed to work out, as with every dash, it got closer and closer till its death, until it looked like it was finally one hit away from its demise. Yes! That really might rival how cool the Spear Wither fight was to me. That was so cool. You know, I think that was sufficiently incredible. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, on your screen is a playlist that has every other video I've done that's similar. And also, if you want the chance to vote on what I do next, join the Discord in the description, because for the first 24 hours of the video being up, you'll be able to vote and decide what's next. But until next time, I'll see you guys soon.